I'm Jessie. I've been a full-time artist for 10 years and thought it about time I start sharing my painting techniques and adventures. Subscribe to join me every week for a window into my art life. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Art Life. In this week's episode, I'm going to be giving you a tour of my studio, so come on in. So I've been in this studio for a year because of lockdown, the pandemic. We all got kind of creatively locked in at home. I actually share this space with my sister, who is on the right. I am on the left. And Rafe, all his building crap is at the back, and all of our house stuff is at the top. So it's quite a multifaceted, multi-useful studio space. It has big ceilings, which is great. I love the height. And why I wanted to talk to you and show you about the studio today is the fact that in a month I'm actually moving studio. And not just moving studio, I am designing and building my own studio in my new house. So very excited about that. Do a little dance. So just wanted to talk to you about how I set the studio up and what I'm going to do differently, and how maybe some of the ideas I've taken from this space we can change and use for the next space. So very exciting. So the most valuable thing I have in this studio is actually this easel. Oh, it's really amazing. It's Italian. It's the biggest easel I've ever had, and it's got this amazing like lever crank. You can change the height of it. It's just the most beautiful easel. Like, it's actually my favourite thing I own because I can do really massive canvases on it, and so I'm not limited to wall space. And if I've used this easel in residencies where I didn't have as much wall space, or it almost acts like a wall. You can do really, really massive paintings on it. So yeah, and it's got these handy little drawers. It's just really beautiful.
So what you got there?
Okay, so this is my antique table, which actually is also super snazzy because I've got to do this smoothly. It actually folds up if I do this properly. I don't have all this crap on it. It folds up, in theory, into one table. And then you push this in. And suddenly you have a really big table, which is amazing for small space studio when you need to kind of like, yeah, utilise the space you have. So it's just dreamy, it's on wheels. I don't know how old it is. I got it from an antique shop like 5 years ago.
You want to put it down again now?
Oh my god. Okay. See, it's much easier going down. Look at that. Super smooth. Okay, so having a wall, you know, the lights on the top have been really helpful. It's been a really light space to use. I think being next to the window was also good because there was a lot of natural light. So in the studio we're going to build, I'd like to be able to have one good wall like this where I can put like big paintings on the wall and I can step back from them. Like, there's a lot of room to step back and check out the big paintings that I love doing. So that is another thing I'm hoping to have in my new studio. So over here is my trusty new mole stick. I don't know if you've seen the video where Rafe actually made this from scratch, but it is just beautiful to use and I've loved using it since I've had it. So also check out that video if you want to know how to make your own mole stick.
Link will be here.
The link will be there. So click on the link
To watch that video.
Click on the link to watch that video. I'd like to show you this actually. Just move again. If you want to know how to do a still life painting, click on the link.
For this video?
For this video. There's all these little things around the studio from like this year, like projects I've done, little paintings, things we've made, and they're just, it's not clutter, it feels like it just, yeah, it's treasure. You just need to know where to look for it. So if you do want to go into still life and have a look about how I made a still life painting, click on the link. Click on the link. Okay, this trunk. So this trunk is actually my studio trunk. Whenever I start a new studio, I've actually been able to fit everything I own in this trunk for painting at one point. Obviously now that is not the case, but it's taken me everywhere from art school. Now it's basically empty, it's just got a few old pictures, a few old pens, whatever. But it's my travelling trunk, it's my lucky trunk. So whenever I start a new studio, I have to take this with me. It's like my lucky charm. Books. One thing I really do need in my new studio is a proper bookshelf for all my books and my research books. At the moment they're on the floor, they are dotted around the house, different boxes upstairs. I'd love to have just like a kind of corner for all my research, maybe with a little chair where I can read my books. Yeah, because these are the books I'm just using at the moment, referring to like with this recent body of work with painting. So they're mostly around landscape, but we are doing book club with Art Life now, so I'll be going through most of these books and talking about them a little bit as well, so keep an eye out for that. One thing about me as well is that I collect buckets, jars, containers for my paintbrushes. I have, like Rafe gave this one to me as a gift, which is lovely, David, Michelangelo's David. But I actually sort of compartmentalise them, very dorky, where I have the kind of priming brushes, the flat brushes in this big gold one. I have all my like favourite brushes, which are really unusual, in this lovely like antique flower vase I probably stole from like my parents' house. Yeah, I think it's the more buckets and jars you have of paintbrushes, the better. So I do collect them, so hopefully over the years I will gather more and more. One of the episodes we made was actually how to store your paints. Again, click on the link if you'd like to go back and look about a good way to store your oil paints or your acrylics. I love this way of storing my paints. I can see them all, but there's not going to be as much space in my new studio. So now we're going to have to research tighter, smaller ways for small space studios of storing your paints. So this is another challenge that we will be thinking about over the next couple of weeks. Again, I always store my palettes sort of on hooks on the wall. We made this one, I think, in our first episode about the history of the artist's palette. Again, click on the link if you're interested in the history of the artist's palette. But I love just being able to see my palettes on the walls because I love them. I'm actually sneaking into my sister's side. I've just realised it's meant to be half and half. I've definitely taken over most of the studio. I'm very sorry, Alex. Okay. Also, I found in an antique shop this old sort of French painting. It's pretty naff, but I might use the frame and paint something for the new house, and maybe that could be an episode. Or I could maybe sort of research art restoration and see if I can clean this up a bit. Could be quite fun. So I always have things like that lying around the studio, like ideas which are going to be projects, but I'm never going to probably get around to them, so I just gather clutter. Okay, what else can I show you? Pile of stretchers ready to be stretched. Can we do that actually? Stretching some more canvases.
Yep.
Yeah. There's always a pile of stretchers in the corner. Or old paintings. Don't look at this bit, this is the dumping ground, because there is so much like stuff from art school and, you know, the dumping ground of old sketchbooks and offcuts. I've got some old paintings that I've done. It's good to have them around because you never know when it's like suddenly you know, inspiration strikes and you want to fall in love with something again which you thought you hated but actually you secretly like love again. This is Rafe's zone. This is Rafe's workbench. We rarely work in here together actually because, like, unless I'm working on my own I do get distracted. I do like to chat. But yeah, this is where we make the cool stuff. This is just the drying wall where I have things on the wall which I need out of the way but aren't quite dry yet, so that's great. Up the stairs we go. Huge rolls of linen. So I've actually bulk ordered lots of linen for the new studio and hopefully we're going to hang it from the ceiling so we can pull it down as we need it. Again, bookshelves. I need bookshelves because I've got loads of, I'm currently using them as drying racks. So yeah, in the new studio bookshelves will be a must. So everything I make on paper is so delicate, it can get damaged really easily. So when I was making oil on paper studies, on arche paper, even drawings, I hang them up here on like a drying rack, like a washing line with pegs. Because if I don't, this is what happens. I just like lean it against the floor and it will get ruined. So hanging them up just ensures that they're safe and that they're dry.
And then what do you do with them?
And then I put them in my drawer. I put them in my lovely hidden drawer in the step. And my favourite bit of the studio, this is actually one of Rafe's inventions. I was making a lot of drawings over the winter and we needed somewhere to store them. So he turned one of the steps into a drawer and it's the perfect size for arche paper. So we've got these this hidden treasure trove of drawings in the stairs, which also feels really safe. Because if a robber came in to steal my art, they would never know that in the stairs there was a secret storage of loads of drawings.
Unless they watch this video.
Unless they watch this video. So I've actually just told, okay, please don't rob me. So I've loved working in this studio this year. It's so lovely to have lots of space and to be able to have big work in here. I've not always had big studios. It's like you say, if you've got a good easel, you don't necessarily need a good wall space. If you are working from home like me at the moment and you have any thoughts on painting in small space studios, do let me know in the comments below, because I'm always interested if people have found things with their studios that they'd like to share, and about how you organise all this stuff that we need when we're making paintings. So thanks for watching this week's episode of Art Life, the studio tour. I hope you found just this quick look at my studio interesting, and please like and subscribe for videos every Monday. As we design and build the new studio, we're going to be sharing all of the stages of this with you to build the perfect studio. So yeah, I will see you next week.